There was a terrible furore. Everywhere in the media, they were talking about, well, how could it happen? How could Robert Mugabe be given such a post? Trev, you want to give me some background?
Yeah, so basically it was announced that, you know, it's important to state this as well. Robert Mugabe is 93 years old and still going. Still,
and he looks well.
He's got all his hair and everything.
Yeah, he looks well.
But anyway, he was basically appointed a goodwill ambassador for the World Health Organization. So his job is to supervise the treatment and eradication of chronic, like, long-term diseases. So they gave him, that was the position that they announced that they were giving him this role.
Yeah.
Anyway, when that happened, all of the media went crazy. The Canadian
Western media went crazy.
Yep.
The
The Canadian Prime Minister called his appointment basically an April Fool's joke. He said he thought it was literally like an April Fool's joke, even though we're in October. And everyone was saying, you know, how could Robert Mugabe, this dictator, be given this role?
Who gave him the role?
Right. Now, there's a brother who is the Director General of the World Health Organization. He was recently appointed. He's from Ethiopia.
All right, there you go. That makes sense.
So there's a connection, I guess, of sorts. And that's what they were, when I'm reading the Western media stuff, they would say, you know, it's just only this individual would have appointed Robert Mugabe.
Well,
because
can I just ingest why I would have thought Robert Mugabe would be the best person to get a role like that is that Africa has been polluted with so much pharmaceutical fake medicines right now.
Terrorism.
You need someone who is impartial. Unfortunately, most of our leaders in the continent, I'm not saying all, but most of our leaders in the continent are bought. You know, it's not a disparity between the leaders here. The leaders here are bought too. I mean, if you've got a donor for your party, you're being bought.
Yeah.
Robert Mugabe, on the other hand, doesn't want to be bought. And for all these years, he's fought against being bought.
Yeah. Yes.
So he has got much more of a mandate to be heading
anything of that
nature. Because the thing is, I mean, I don't even believe in vaccines. You know, that's how far it is.
Join the club, bro.
It's like more deeper than why they protest, because one of the biggest industries is the pharmaceutical industry.
Bro. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they were literally saying if it's him, how are we supposed to eat and get away with what we're supposed to get away with?
They've actually got it turned around now.
No, they turned it around. I saw it this morning. They turned it around
now, so that's been revoked, and he won't be given. No, he won't be getting that role. No.
Because
he won't be getting that role.
See what you've said. Now he's made that call because in his heart he felt that was the right appointment to make. But now he's been told to back up.
Yeah.
So if he's not free to make those decisions,
who is? And that's the point in itself. I mean, it goes to what we were saying. When you came to the office on Friday, I said to you, we have to stop trying to run our system based on other people's systems. It's called the World Health Organization. But if you go to the World Health Organization and you are still the leader of the World Health Organization, you're from Africa, you still can't make decisions. So if you're not the leader, you could, it's like America. If Barack was the leader and he couldn't make decisions, if you come out a leader, you can't. So the point is, create your own Africa Health Organization, and you guys make the decision. It's common sense.
Yes.
So before something comes in, you say, what's coming in? And then you ask the question, why is anything coming in terms of health in the first place? Because you are where everyone learned medicine from
in the first place.
I mean, you've got natural herbs, you've got everything there that can cure people.
The thing that was holding me with this story, what I liked about this story or didn't like about this story, is just when we started to look into it and we've got to the computers to get into it, to find something positive on Robert Mugabe, you literally have to go to like the 7th page of the search on his name.
Yeah, you got to find you got to have someone in Zimbabwe has to write.
Or you've got to for me, because we already knew so much about him. Then there's certain bits you could actually go to.
But let me tell you a trick, right? Anybody who is it's a trick. I'll just tell you a trick to find out whether somebody is legit or not. Anybody that's in the public eye, who is of a different color. If they are about real stuff, if you go and try and search them, you're going to find crap Because that's the truth.
Yeah, that is the price you pay.
That's the price you pay.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you're not, you're only part of the elite. You're going to have the MBE. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. All of that stuff. If you are,
yeah, because you faced some of that with the Urban Music Awards, didn't you?
I've faced some of that with. Listen, I've been running. I run 9 companies. I've been doing that for 18 years.
Wow.
I've never had a criminal record. I have never. I'm saying that because obviously everyone has their own mental stats. I've never had anything negative that I've done that would deserve me to get retribution. The first ever negative thing I was pulled on, apart from the UMAs and the incident happened at the UMAs, was launching a newspaper called the London Weekly. I launched a newspaper called the London Weekly, and because I launched a newspaper called the London Weekly, every single newspaper went crazy.
Explain.
I launched a newspaper.
What do you mean they went crazy? They went crazy and said, "How dare you?"
No, I'm as surprised as you are. I actually can tell you, I'm as surprised as you are.
Yeah.
We launched a newspaper called the London Weekly.
And was it? It sounded too official.
It doesn't sound too official. I spent a couple of millions and launched a newspaper. I said I wanted to launch a newspaper for London. Right? I didn't know. When you're black, you can't launch a newspaper for London. Yes. Right? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Nobody sent me the memo. I wish someone had sent me the memo. Nobody sent me the memo.
Wow.
So I just thought it was not like I was. It was 2009.
Do you know what? I remember reading some articles.
Oh,
about
it was
that.
crazy.
And they referred to you like the shadowy figure.
I look
you
very
had no
shadowy.
right.
Yeah. He was black, y'all.
No, a shadow. The Guardian called me the shadow entrepreneur who wants to launch a London Weekly. They called it a hoax before we launched it.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Like, basically, you say I want to launch a radio show, and they say, no, it's a hoax. You say, well, it's on Saturday. Then you launch the show on Saturday. They say, yeah, but you made mistakes in the show. The card came out and fell down, and that's the kind of stuff. And you're thinking, this is underground level. This is Guardian.
Wow.
Media Week,
closed group,
like every.
But you know what though? What you got to know about this brother that's different though is he clean did not get the memo about most things because like this brother here, how he rolls with his stuff is like you've launched the newspaper, which we didn't speak. I didn't know about that. Yeah. But whether it's the platform you have for videos, whether it's the Urban Music Awards that they may put the Mobos a certain place,
I love
but
the Mobos.
When you do what you do. It has been attacked a certain way, but you never felt. I never felt. Listen, I never ever felt a need to go after my sister Kanye King, who owns the Mobos. When we see in events, we speak like family. How are you doing? You're right. I mean, the last time I saw her, she was going through some health issues. How are you doing? You're right. Look, God bless. I hope you get well. And listen. In my whole Urban Music Awards career, I've been called from loads of stations, loads of newspapers to go head to head with her. Say something bad. Say something bad. I've never, ever said something bad. You're not going to get me into divide and conquer attitude because the Urban Music Awards wasn't launched to go in direct competition with the Mobiles. I don't compete. I wasn't born to compete. Because to me, like a lot of people would have felt, intimidated by the idea because the Mobiles were so big already.
Well, big is irrelevant to me. Like
I got that.
I have no. This is big to me. And anything you do to empower a community and move it further is big.
Go ahead.
We decide big by us being on someone's platform that doesn't look like us.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I was on the BBC today, I'd be like, "Yo, that's big." Why? Why is it big? When did you listen to the BBC last? What's I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not disrespecting them. But why do we always think someone else's thing is big?
Yeah.
We give someone else's thing a power. If all of us say this is big, this is big. Yeah. It's simple. You know who I like, who have got this notion more than anybody else? The rappers, right? I don't like the message that they convey, but I like the notion of a rapper coming and saying, yeah, I'm the best in the whole world. And he's not, but he says it and he becomes that. And then he says, yeah, well, I'm charging $4 million for a booking. And then someone from Saudi calls him and says, I'm really sorry, I only got 2.5. He goes,
yeah, all right.
Oh, this time, next time.
You paid the $4 million.
Next time, pay the full $4 million. So, but I like people assert in their power. Stop, say, like, Mobiles is big, Music Awards is big, every organization is big, Omega Radio is big, Talk Black Radio Station is big. It doesn't matter how long you've been going on for what you get, as long as you're using your platform to empower and move a community forward, then you're big. If you're using your platform to bring a community down, then I got no business with you.
Go on.
That's the truth.
That's heavy. I think we're kind of crossing subjects, I imagine, for what we're going to talk about after. But you said something interesting earlier that I want to bring in now. You said the causes of things are key. But you, if I understand right, you're not born here.
No, I was born here.
Oh,
I was born in London,
your back,
First, like St. George's Hospital in Streatham.
You, in terms of schooling and your background?
Schooling, I went to school in Cameroon. My mom basically, my dad and my mom met here.
Yep.
My dad was running the company here, bought loads of properties here, was doing very well, hired a lot of people. I'm not going to mention names, but hired a lot of people here. And then one day someone reported him for something, and he lost everything, lost his businesses, actually. So he went back home. So I schooled and went to college in Cameroon.
And sorry, because I know you want to go into that more after, but just that point of your thinking is not grown here.
No.
Yeah.
And you talk about the Cameroon, and what was it? What's the other parent from Cameroon?
So my dad is part West African and part Caribbean, St. Lucia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hearing that Cameroon connection and hearing you, I hear a freedom you have.
Yeah.
You said your mum homeschooled you, isn't it? She actually built her own school.
I actually met my mum just like 2 months ago. She basically, in the house that she put us in the nursery, she saw them teaching us what they were teaching us here. She's like, that's not happening. Yeah. She built her own, she started her own nursery in the house. Right? The neighbors started sending their children. I remember the kid upstairs was called Rita. She's married now. She was like, for a year old, she joined the nursery. Then everybody started joining the nursery. Then we got ready to go to primary school. They said, what are you going to do? She goes, I'm building a primary school. She bought land, built a primary school. Then we got ready to go to college. I'm like, surely this woman is not going to build a college. I was thinking that. She was like, I bought a forest. She literally carried us to the forest. We were saying snakes, monkeys. I'm not making this shit. I'm making this thing up. We were saying snakes, monkeys, etc. She bulldozed in Belmont Theresa College, and I went through the college there as well. So
it gives you a different perspective on life. 100%,
100%, 100%.
And also the fact of we're dealing with ourselves, but when I see you and then I see us, in terms of we from the Caribbean, or taken from Africa and brought here, and just think from a perspective of the European, when he came to Africa, the mindset he met you, and the kind of mind he had to have to destroy you to produce us.
He didn't destroy.
When I said destroy, in terms of make you enslaved.
It's a strong word. I'm telling you, words. We'll talk about that later on. Words are so powerful that. You see how you just said it?
Yep.
You just got destroyed. So you got to take it back and say you didn't destroy. Because let me tell you why I'm saying that. There's something called mind tricks, right? I can trick you for 10 years, for 100 years, for 400 years. It's just a mind trick, right? And I could put you on a hypnotic cycle for 400, 500 years. That's just real, right? The reality of it is that that's what they did to them. They just mind tricked them. And the thing is, what we believe is that we weren't mind tricked. We believe that we were actually, our brain had been taken, our mind has been taken. You can't take someone's brain, mind, and soul. It's even in the Bible. There's the story of Job, right? In the Bible, Satan was sent to go and God said you can do whatever you want to do, but you can't take his soul.
Do you know what I like when you're talking? It's like that is the mindset. That's the spirit of repair right there, because as you were talking, and that's what made me stay with you so long when I came, because when you were talking, like you don't speak, you only speak in the positive.
No, I know why, because I want everybody who's listening to do this. Study the history of the English language. It wasn't made for you and me, and then understand the history of the African language. The history of the English language is to cast spells. That's why the first time you go to school, they say, I'm going to teach you how to spell. And once they've teach you how to spell A, B, C, and you spell words, they will say, I want you to cast a spell, meaning can you make a sentence of what you've learned, right? You spend your whole life casting spells. But the thing is, people don't understand that the English language is built to cast spells. Like, like the courtroom, for example. What do you call the tennis court? Court, right? So what do you call when you go to the lawn, thick N out, and it's law, right? When you go to the real court, what are you doing? You're playing games.
Let me hold you back a second. Hold on. Because I don't want to lose the point, because one of the things that's so dear to us here, because we're homeschooling parents, and he's a homeschooling young man.
I love that.
But when you're talking about what happened in terms of the way that mindset, that positive mindset that you have, it's what I want to explore is just the way that it changed you, or the way that it allows you to move different when you come back now and you're running 9 businesses, you're going head to head with major corporations. Like, it's not a thing, doesn't really make no difference to you. Water off a duck's back. I want to discuss some of the drive that you got when you was being in that environment where you were taken away, separated, with a positive environment. How did that really affect you?
I didn't know that it had an effect on me whilst I was there. I just thought it was normal. But I was like I'm not going to lie, I was like every other person in Africa, in Cameroon, or if any Africans listen, well, majority in that time, I'm talking about the 80s, right? Yeah. Majority of people in the 80s were like, I want to go back to where I was born. I want to go to London, because the images that were being fed to me was that this is it. America, London with video. All the videos we were watching was like, we want to be there. We want to be wearing those jeans. We want to be there. We want to be doing all that stuff. And the thing is, we didn't know that we had everything.
Already.
Like, when I think about it, like, we had good food. We had, when you say you want orange juice, I'm talking, the orange was in our house. We plucked the orange, and you do your orange juice. You want soursop, you want pear.
So when did you realize? Where did you go?
It's when I came here.
Yeah.
When I came here, the first time, all right, listen, the moment of truth that I came here was that we were rich back home. We are still rich back home, right? And I came here, and I was poor. So I was like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So I was homeless.
Wow.
I was homeless when I was 16 in this country.
So it wasn't quite like the Coca-Cola advert.
It wasn't like Coming to America or Eddie Murphy.
Right.
It wasn't like Welcome to America. I was homeless when I was 16.
Right, and from that space, you've gone from that, and literally maybe about 3-4 years later.
No,
now
when I was 16, when I was homeless.
Yeah.
Because when I came here, I stayed with my auntie, and at some point, I realized that, no disrespect to her, but she had family, etc. And I realized that, it was me and my sister. It was like it was too much for them. So, essentially we became homeless. My sister went to America, and I was homeless. I was 16 years old. So I left London. I went to Bognor Regis. I was literally homeless, like, eating from.
So you went to where?
Bognor Regis.
Why did you choose there?
I went on the train, hid in the toilet because I couldn't afford a travel card, and I just stayed there. I got off. I'm like, where am I? It was Bognor Regis.
Oh, wow.
I walked out the station. I saw bottling on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I saw this I've not been there for years. I saw this shop. And then I was like, that's why I got my food for that night. But in that homelessness, being down, is where I would say, in a way, I connected to God. And that to me was
the turning point.
My spirit came connected. Marlon Palmer, we have
been joined by our other guest, the esteemed Marlon Kush Palmer has rolled in. He's so hot, people, he comes when he wants to come.